So Halo 3 is almost 10 years old now. Does that mean we'll get Halo 3 anniversary soon? One can hope. But anyways, there's probably 12 things you probably never noticed in Halo 3. So let's go over those. Number 12, and this is the Visor Reflections. So basically, on any map in any game mode of Halo 3, especially ones with objects placed around, if you look into the visor of another player, you at first it looks like you're looking at a reflection of the map, but really you're looking at a reflection of the empty map. And that is because Halo 3 does not have real-time reflections enabled, meaning you're seeing a static image of an empty map. No matter what objects you place, no matter who stands in front of the visor, you will not see any kind of reflection at all on any object, not just visors, in fact. Number 11, Ghost Thermal Vision. So this one is also pretty simple to do. Just hop on a ghost, and if you look very closely at the screen of the ghost, at first glance it looks like it's just, lit up, like a dashboard and everything. But if you look closely, you can actually see the ghost screen has thermal vision to it. And whatever you look at, it not only outlines the objects, but certain objects actually glow, like players or other AIs or certain weapons and scenery. This is actually very similar to the screen on the sniper rifle scope, where it actually outlines and kind of lights up a few things. So the two of them may be related some ways in the Halo 3 engine. But basically the Ghost has this neat little feature that kind of lets you see in night vision. And if you look even closer, at some angles, it actually displays your Ghost in third-person view on the display, which is kind of odd. But it's interesting nonetheless that Bungie actually put this much detail into something that you'll probably never notice, which is pretty cool, I think. Now, number 10 is the self-infected Marine. For this, simply at the very beginning of Floodgate, and it's probably the best to look at this in theater mode, because you get the best view, of course. Anything is easier to see in theater mode. Now, this Marine over here at the beginning of Floodgate, when all those flood infection forms drop down, if you look closely, they drop down, but nothing drops down around him. However, for some reason, he just starts getting injured and is slowly getting infected. So let's resume, and as you can see, he just, randomly gets infected out of nowhere for no reason at all. So that is probably something you'll never have seen unless you got up close pretty quickly. All the other Marines actually get infected because the infection forms hop into them. Now number 9, continuing on this same mission, is the Marine that dies from nothing, basically. Similar to the one that got infected from nothing. So, in this room, when you get past that part earlier, you'll see a Marine with a flamethrower trying to fight off some flood. Now, at first glance, as you run in the room, it looks like the flood attack him, and he gets killed by the flood. But if you fly up in theater mode, on closer inspection, once you let it play, the Marine not only holds the flamethrower weird away, but just simply drops dead for no reason. And the flood basically don't even bother with him; they just kind of ignore him until after he's dead. Now number 8, you won't see this too often because most flood combat forms are the same, but any flood that's a different color, like the red flood or even the silver flood, which is very rare to find, if you were to kill them, and by kill I mean completely kill them, destroy their bodies, they will actually change back to the original blue color. No matter what color the flood was, they would just change back to blue once you completely break them apart. Now number 7, this one is actually a classic, and a lot of you actually might have seen this, but for those of you who are kind of new to the Halo series, or for those of you who never really took time to kind of notice this, on the mission The Storm at the second rally point, the boat that is on land here, at a certain angle, the back of the boat basically looks like Master Chief's helmet. And it is indeed meant to look like Master Chief's helmet. It's basically an Easter egg from Bungie. But it's something that's really easy to miss on your first thing, maybe second, even third playthroughs. But it's just a little interesting Easter egg sitting right there, literally. Now, number 6. This is the Tower Ghost Light. This is a very simple one, but once you hit the switch, and you want to look over here at the first tower after you hit it, and you want to skip the cutscene right away too. So we're going to hit it here, and skip the cutscene immediately, and then keep an eye on the wall over here. Once the second tower shuts off, you actually can see a little flash of light from that tower. You can actually see through the wall completely. And it's actually kind of cool, and I like to call it a ghost light. Now, number 5. The wrong Cortana chip position. This one was very hard for me to notice. In fact, it was my friend that pointed it out to me. But pay close attention to the chip that houses Cortana. It basically looks like a SD card, a modern day SD card. You know, it's got the gold pins at the bottom and everything. So just pay close attention to those details. Now watch closely as Master Chief inserts the chip into his helmet. So we're going to play it in very slow motion and stop in a few parts. But as you can see, the gold part is at the base of his hand. And see, he is inserting the chip horizontally instead of vertically. The gold pins should be facing into his helmet, but they're not. So basically he puts it in sideways, which if anyone's using an SD card, obviously you know that it doesn't fit that way unless you cram it in, which would probably break it. So let's watch it again in even more slow motion and zoom in a little bit. As you can see, he really does put it in sideways instead of vertically. And maybe that's that's not really good for the chip no matter what. So maybe that's why Cortana gets corrupted in Halo 4. Because Master Chief didn't take care to insert the chip the proper way. Now for number 4. The Cortana Room Remake. On the mission Cortana, when you finally rescue her, or the second rally point, in this room, you know, at first glance, it doesn't seem like much. It's just the room where you get Cortana from, and
Chief,
you can leave the room instantly.
Out of this place.
But
I don't want to stay.
On closer inspection, it is actually a remake of the Prophet Hierarch's private sanctum room from Halo 2 on a mission High Charity. And almost everything is the exact same detail. So let's take a look at that map right now. So when you enter the Prophet's inner sanctum room, this is the room where the energy sword spawns on a pedestal and everything. And almost everything else about the room is the same. See, we got the glass wall back here, the pedestal in the center, beginnings of some flood infection here, and 3 doors in the room as well. See a door here on the left. This is the door on Halo 3 that you would take to go back into the generator room to destroy it, but the door is locked here on Halo 2 Anniversary. And you have your door here that takes you to a grav lift up to the next part of the mission, and the door you came in through, of course. Now going back to Halo 3, see, this is the door that you go to the next part of the mission. You have your glass wall back here again, except it's covered in with a lot more flood infection and it's a lot more damaged and shattered. And you still can't go inside, but here you have the door that takes you to the grav lift, but it's locked on this mission, and the pedestal in the center. So it's the exact same room. Number 3 is the ODST weapon swap. So during this cutscene at the beginning of the arc, as you're flying down, Master Chief is going to walk in through the back, and you'll see some ODSTs there sitting with their weapons. pay very close attention to the weapons they are holding. So here you can clearly see the ODSTs are holding battle rifles. However, once the cutscene ends, they will be holding something else, which we will see in just a second. And here we have it. Their battle rifles magically change to assault rifles. And for the rest of the mission, they will carry assault rifles, so they don't change back to battle rifles for some reason. So that's a very interesting thing that it's very easy to miss. Now, number 2. The Crashing Phantoms. So on the mission The Covenant, the second part we fly the Hornets, as you approach the island here, these green phantoms from your allies, they turn invisible and just seemingly fly away. But if you can get, using a simple glitch to get the Hornets here, and if you hop on, you can actually see and ride on the phantoms and see where they actually go. So here they are turning invisible as normal, and you think they're going to fly away, but they actually just drop down into the ground instead, into the water, and you die. Which is actually typical of a lot of Halo games. Instead of making things disappear, they just fly out of the map and crash. Now finally, number 1. This is the Rom Brute in the cutscene. And this is actually one of my favorite ones, which is why I made it number 1. So, after you beat the 2 scarabs and you come into the room normally without doing any glitches or anything, cutscene will play as normal, and Master Chief will run up to the room and see the video of a Brute holding Johnson. Pay very close attention to the Brute now. As you can see, it's just a regular minor Brute holding Johnson. Is getting slapped around.
Not close enough.
However, in this next scene, it becomes a Brute Chieftain that's holding Johnson. So the Brute actually changes between cutscenes. It's a very odd issue. Now, what makes this little thing more interesting is that with my time travel glitch, and I've done another video of this, and in fact revisited it again as well, but with this glitch, you can actually not only mess around with the cutscene a little bit, but what's interesting about this and what made it very easy to miss is that when you do this, it actually fixes the cutscene. And now it's a Brute Chieftain holding Johnson, which is the correct one. And in the next scene, it still remains a Brute Chieftain holding him. So what made this really interesting and why I like this the most is that while it's easy to miss, it actually takes a glitch to fix another glitch that's already in the game. So that's why I found this really interesting. Alrighty, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed that and have learned some new stuff about Halo 3 despite it being 10 years old now. And if you did like this, leave a like, leave your thoughts in the comments, if there's anything else you wanted to point out that we might have missed, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'm going to end this with one pun because I can't leave you guys without that, of course. Now, I was going to tell you a joke about a blunt arrow, but really, there's no point to that. Get it, no point. Blunt arrow. Alright, anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Have a nice day.